Hey guys, Donnie B, Learn Pro Recording. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, today I've got something special for you, okay? I want you to go right now, learnprorecording.com/studio growth formula. Get your studio growth formula. It's 100% free. That's my gift to you today. What we've been doing all month is running some of the modules from the LPR 101 course. That's this one right here. You can check it out here at LPR 101, learnprorecording.com/LPR 101. That's the course. The course is awesome. All month we've been running these modules for this thing, and that's what you guys have been getting all month. So I want to give you the last one today. It's all about hybrid mixing. Hybrid mixing is growing using your box or your computer, whatever DAW, it doesn't matter. Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, whatever. Luna is a new one that people are talking about now. So there's a lot going on. What you do is you take the output of your DAW and you put it onto an analog console, such as the one behind me here. And then you can mix you get the best of both worlds. You get the convenience of working in the box with your favorite plugins. Then you also get to take things out and put it on analog, so you get some analog goodness to it. All right. So again, that download is here. Go do that. While you're down, I'll put this in the link. I'm gonna put this in the link in YouTube. You guys can just go click it. While you're there, please subscribe and like this video so that you guys can get click the bell for notifications, because we got some really cool stuff coming up this month, or next month actually, June, that I'm going to talk to you about after the video. So right now, I'm going to run this module. You guys have a good time. Enjoy the module. I'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, Donnie B, Learn Pro Recording. Welcome back in. Today, we're going to discuss another form of mixing. It's known as hybrid mixing. If you guys have access to, or you know someone who has access to a analog console, this is for you. So what we have here is another scenario of mixing that involves more than just a computer, ITB, which stands for in the box. We consider the computer a box, so we call it in the box, or ITB. We will now discuss mixing in the box and an analog console together. This way we get the best of both worlds. Those that know me, that I'm a massive fan of analog signal path. In my opinion, analog sounds better. For me, digital in the box gives me a feeling of limiting how much I can push. In digital, there seems to be a ceiling or a cap. Again, if you know me, you know that I'm the guy that says, hold my beer when someone tells me I can't do something. I'm going to include a test of an analog output we did a while back. The results are like hugely different. I'm not saying one is better, but you can listen and decide which one and see if you hear a difference, okay? So, hybrid mixing allows you to have the best of both worlds of digital and analog signal paths, meaning that if your favorite EQ is in the DAW, use it. That sound will translate out to the console. If your favorite reverb unit happens to be a vintage Yamaha SPX 90 from 1982, patch it into your signal path and use it. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want that? I'm not saying that you can't get great mixes only using your computer. I'm saying that if you have access to both worlds, combine them. Your mixes and your clients will notice. In a second, I'm going to turn it over to an actual hybrid mix setup. So the first thing we need to do is route everything from Pro Tools or whatever DAW you are using to the analog console, to the inputs on the analog console. Make sure your I/O is set up properly for this purpose. If you're using Pro Tools, you can actually save a preset of your I/O configuration and recall it when you need to for this purpose. Get out your board, tape, and Sharpies, class. It's time to get real. Ready to go? Remember, you can always reach out and ask questions at any time. Just shoot me an email if anything comes up. info@learnprorecording.com or support@learnprorecording.com. We'll talk to you guys in a bit. Get ready for the video. Here we go. Okay, so what we need to do, this is console, what you guys are looking at right here. This is actually the bridge between my Apollos. We use Universal Audio Apollos in all our studios here. This is the Universal Audio Apollo bridge. Basically, that bridge is whatever DAW to my interface. Okay, whether I'm using Luna or whether I'm using Logic or whatever, this is the bridge that goes between, that tells my interface what input in whatever DAW I'm using. So what we need to do, we got a couple of different scenarios, or I/O matrix, input output, that we keep it we do two different configurations in this room, basically two different. We've got in the box, which as you can see only has two outputs, and all the inputs are there. It just only has two outputs. We only need two outputs. But today what we're doing is we're not going to be in the box exclusively, so we're going to change it to analog console out. Now what this does is it loads up another configuration which we've saved, which allows all 32 outputs of our Apollo 16s to route out to the console. So before we open our DAW, we have to do this, okay? So now we can open our DAW. Today we're going to be using Pro Tools. All right, so let's open our Pro Tools. The problem with, the thing that I don't really like about the Apollo and Pro Tools is that you have to quit Pro Tools in order to change the configuration of the Apollo. Every other DAW allows you to do it internally, and Pro Tools is the only one that makes you quit and reload because it has to do with the preferences and the configuration of Pro Tools. So I'm going to open up this song that we have here called Homie, which actually is one that you guys, I'm going to set for download for you guys. So this is actually a song that you guys get to work on. So what we have here, this is the mixer page. It's a real simple song. There's like 8 tracks of drums, a bass, rhythm guitar, 2 solo guitars, a lead guitar, and an organ and vocals. And that is it in this entire song. This song is really simple, really easy. It was all recorded live in this studio that I'm actually in right now. This is actually our Studio B, which you're going to see the console in a second. But we recorded that song in this room live. The drummer, of course, was in the booth. The guitar player, who was also the vocalist, was in this room with the bass player. And the bass player also, the only thing we overdubbed was the solo guitars and the organ, okay? So I will explain more about this song later when when I download, when I make it available for download with you guys. So we actually created problems in the song, which are pretty much inherent to what happens when songs get delivered to us to just mix. Okay, so we incorporated those problems into the song. So your job as an audio engineer and as a mixing engineer is to find those problems and fix those problems before you can do anything. Okay, so what we're going to use this song for today is I want to make all these outputs correspond to the inputs that are actually on the console, which let me show you the console. I want to make all these outputs from Pro Tools correspond to individual tracks on this console. So basically the idea is that I can mix in Pro Tools as well as on the console using the EQ, the auxiliaries. There's a patch bay on this side over here, which you guys can see. That is going to be allow us to patch in outboard gear, which is some compressors and reverbs and delays over there. There's also some EQs on this side, which we can plug in. You guys can see the SSL 4K stuff here. So that allows us to get to all the things. So basically we got the best of both worlds. We got Pro Tools and then we have the analog console as well. So all of the audio is routing out of Pro Tools onto the console, and then we take the console mix bus, the 2 bus from the console, and route it back into Pro Tools to record it. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to take each individual output and route it to a channel on our console. So there's output 1, there's output 2. Now you guys know that you don't have to do each one individually, right? You can just select the range and I hold Shift Option Command. It allows me to run these things down one at a time, and then it does it in succession. As you can see, it's line 1, line 2, line 3. Now this is the line out of my Apollos, which correspond to the inputs of my console. So the last one is a stereo, so let's make that 15, 16. Okay, so basically we've got all of our outputs of our DAW going on to the analog console now. So if I press play, you guys will see that these are the edit window. As I press play, you guys can see that if I switch over to that camera, you guys will see that all the outputs there are coming up on my console, okay? So this is the actual console. What we need to do is we're going to be taking a piece of tape and marking which channel is which input onto the console. So let me switch over to this view so you guys can actually see the piece of tape that I'm going to put on here. This is actually console tape. It's made for this purpose. Basically what this means is that it's not mask. Man, never use masking tape on your console, please. What this is it's special tape that doesn't leave a residue glue onto your It doesn't leave the residue of the glue from the tape onto the console. Okay, so what we can do is follow down. We're going to follow down from the channels on Pro Tools, and we're going to route those out and mark them onto the console. So the first channel is the kick. So we're going to write kick. Then we have the snare on channel 2, the hat on channel 3, rack tom, floor tom, overhead left, overhead right, and so on and so on and so on. I'll just do this real quick. Bass is next. Oh, we had the room, bass, rhythm guitar, solo 1, solo 2, solo 1, solo 2, lead, and then we have vocals. And then the stereo channel is going to be the organ. Okay, we'll just make that a stereo channel. So there are some things that you can do in this area. Okay, as you notice on this console, there's a matrix. Okay, this basically just, so the signal is going to come in here to the monitor channel, right? We can either send it strictly to the left and the right, which is this fader here, which is the master bus or the 2 bus, however you guys want to call it. So we can just put that in on the left and the right, and it sends it straight over there. But what I might want to do is route everything to subgroups, so that I can insert into the subgroups. So let's say I want to take all my drums and route them to one subgroup, and then be able to insert an overall compressor on my overall drum mix. So I can mix my drums here, and then they're routed to a subgroup here, and then I can insert whatever onto this subgroup, and then send that to the left and the right, which is the 2 bus. Get it? Okay, so you just got to remember, you just have to remember your routing, okay? That you have to understand where signal's coming from, where signal's going to, and then this is all the stuff that's happening to your signal along the way. Okay, all this stuff here, we have an EQ. First thing is the gain input. Then we have an EQ. Then we have there's 6 auxiliaries. Then it goes to the output. We're not using the input faders. In this scenario, these input faders could actually be more mix. If we had the I/O, this is a 32 channel console. If I had the input output, so in other words, if I had 2 more of the 16 Apollos, I could actually do 64 tracks and more if I had more I/O. The thing with Pro Tools is Pro Tools limits you to, because we're not using Avid hardware, Avid limits us to only 32 inputs and 32 outputs, which I have found in the last 10 years, 15 years working with Apollos, that's plenty. I've never really needed more than 32 inputs or outputs. I mean, I think the most I've ever recorded live in was 24, 20, maybe 25. I've never reached the 32. And then when you mix, I mean, you could actually combine channels. So another thing to do is that you could actually run all of your drums to a stereo channel from your digital, from your in this instance it's Pro Tools. You could actually route all of those out to a subgroup, and then route the subgroup out to the analog console. So what the analog console is going to do for your sound, just analog adds some bigness to it, some warmth, some depth. I'm actually going to put there's actually a sample that I'm going to have on this lesson. You guys look over to the right, you could download that, and it's just a WAV file, 3 WAV files that you guys can listen to back to back to back. Which the first one is in the box only, what that mix might sound like. The second one is that mix coming out just to the 2 bus, then routing back in, and then the third one is on the mix bus to the master bus back in. So you can see and hear the difference of what the analog path does for your signal. Okay, so hopefully this explains a little bit about what you can do in a hybrid mix. If you've never really experienced a hybrid mix, I suggest you actually try one, even if you've got, I mean, you don't need a large console like this. You could actually do it on an 8-channel Mackie or a Behringer. Anything that's got an analog signal path is going to give you this largeness, this bigness. So try it. If you've got a console laying around, give it a try, man. Route your things out. It's the same as, it's basically analog summing. You're working in the box the beauty is that you can use your plugins that you love in the box. Like my favorite reverb is actually in the box. So I can route that out to a channel and mix that in. I can basically take the output of the reverb and route it to a channel. So I can just blend that in with everything else that I'm mixing on the hybrid. So that's the trick, all right, is that you just take all of your outputs from your DAW, whether it's Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, whatever, and route it out onto a console, and that just gives you that feeling that you're looking for, that bigness, that old school stuff, man. I hope you guys really got something out of this. If you got any questions, make sure you leave a comment, or you can always email me at info@learnprorecording.com. I'll put a link. You guys have the link. It's I'm gonna put it down below in the description. Anyway, please check this out. Try it out. See what happens. I think your mixes are going to be better for that. So I think you're gonna have more fun. I personally have more fun mixing on a console than I do just in a computer. I mean, I like the mouse and all, but I really like to, I myself like to twist knobs and feel faders, and you know, it's just maybe it's an old school thing. Maybe it's because I've been doing it for so long. I really appreciate the analog console. This console, in case you guys are curious, this is an Allen & Heath GS3000. This is the blackface model from 1995. They made very few of these, and they're pretty rare. The rare part of this console is that it's got 2 tube channels, which are actually on my patch bay, and I can take whatever output and route it to the tube and crank the tube and get some distortion out of it and drive it. It's really cool. This console's not very expensive. I think when they were new, they were 10 grand. And you can find them on, you know, a used site like Craigslist or Reverb.com or whatever for less than $5,000, and it's really well worth the cost of admission for that. So go forth, mix in analog, try it out, see what happens. Again, there's nothing wrong with mixing strictly in the box, nothing wrong with it at all. I prefer the output to a hybrid mix. I basically get the best of both worlds. So give that a try. We'll see you guys next time. We'll talk soon. My name is Donnie B. Learn Pro Recording. I am out. Peace. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you got something out of this video. This is one of the modules from the LPR 101 course. You can find it right here, learnprorecording.com/LPR 101. Hopefully you guys have understood. You know, we've been running this all month. We've been running modules from the course all month long. Of course, that's not all of them, and you guys don't get, you know, you're not getting the downloads and things like that. That also comes along with the course. So check out the course again. That's learnprorecording/LPR 101. Please check it out. It's awesome. It's so super affordable. You guys, you can't beat it. Promise. Hey, also check out the membership, because with the membership you also get access to our community. Well, the membership, you also get preferential access to things that aren't on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. There's monthly workshops, which you can go back and look at all the other monthly workshops, which is awesome. You have access to all the other monthly workshops. If you join the membership now, you're going to get all the monthly workshops from the past year. I guess we've been doing this for about a year now, almost a year. I think July is the year, so we're almost there. You know what I mean? But check out the membership, man. It's $27 a month. You get access to all the back stuff for members, workshops, live things that have been recorded, things like that. Then you also get notified of things that are coming up. One of the things coming up this month of June, for June, we're going to be running a series every day. Every day I want to do a quick tip or trick that I can offer to you to help your workflow go a little bit faster. So look for that. Get signed up. Go download my Studio Growth Formula. It's learnprorecording.com/Studio Growth Formula. I'll put a link to that down in the YouTube description here for you guys, so you can't miss it. Just go click it, sign up. When you sign up, it's going to get you on my list, and when you get on my list, you get notified of when these things come up. You'll get notified when workshops come up. You get notified when we go live. Sometimes once a week, a couple of times a month, whatever. Going live is weird. It's fun. I don't know if you guys realize, but all these videos, a lot of the videos that I do for YouTube are actually live. I try not to do edits. So if I say something stupid, you hear something stupid. So don't be offended. It's just me being me, okay? So I'm a little harsh, a little rough, But sometimes I say things that the boss says, hey, maybe you ought not say that. So, but don't worry about that. But anyway, check that out. Download the Studio Growth Formula. It's 100% free. If you don't like being on the list, you don't like getting emails from me, unsubscribe. Totally fine. Not a problem. But enjoy that Studio Growth Formula. That's designed to help you just grow your studio from where you are now into hopefully one day quitting your day job and doing this full time. Let's make music make you damn money, as we say. So there's that. Coming up on June 4th, which is next week, I think, next Saturday, we try to do a live show in January this year, and a couple of the guys in the crew got COVID, so we had to postpone. We thought we were going to have to cancel the show. We had to postpone it. It's a project that some of it got done here at the studio, so we're kind of invested in it, and it's a great project. The artist is Katie Banks. She's going to be here singing live for us next week, so enjoy that. Her producer's going to be here running things with us, so enjoy it. It's going to be open to question and answers, just like our regular live stuff, so you guys will be able to ask Katie anything, you'll be able to ask us anything, whatever. Just be there, be ready to enjoy that. Once you get on the list by downloading the Studio Growth Formula, which is free, you'll get notified of what time. I think it's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's the time slot so far. Hopefully things don't change. Hopefully everything goes up. Katie just got into town this week, so she's going to be here all this week. So we'll be able to nail that down, and we'll send a notice out to everybody. So you guys get ready for that. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, my name is Donnie B, and I appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. You can always email me at info@learnprorecording.com. Again, my name is Donnie B. I am here for you. I am your mentor and your coach. Speaking of coaching, we got some cool stuff coming up, which I'm going to talk to you about next week. It's going to be fun. I don't know if you guys would be interested in learning how I do this production. Like I said, I do this live. I've got a whole thing right here that I can show you guys exactly how I do this, how it happens, how it comes to be, show you all the gear that I use for switching cameras, putting up graphics, things like that. I can show you all that. Let me know if that's something that you guys might be interested in. I can show you that. All right, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, we will talk to you on the next time. My name is Donnie B, and I'm out. Peace.
Said you caught me by the opposite.